Brazil. Lots of Brazilians also. We have a lot of Brazilian Effortless English members and fans. Okay, yes, indeed. So, Hind, hey, Hind, how you doing? Good to see you again. I feel a lot of pressure because of the TOEFL exam, the speaking session. I have to answer in only 45 seconds. Yeah. It's one of the reasons I don't like these exams, okay? Because this is why I say, the real test is the real world. Real world communication. That's the test of your English, not these stupid tests. These tests are in many ways, they're very artificial and ridiculous. Very unnatural. I mean, if someone's just shy, like our previous person, they could be a native speaker, but very shy. And that pressure, that time pressure, could make them perform badly. Even though they're a native speaker, completely fluent, complete master of English, and yet they might have some problem with some of these tests because of the emotional part, the stress of it. So I don't like it. I don't like that at all. But what can you do? Well, you just got to practice being under the pressure. It's more of the TOEFL thing you're mentioning, the time pressure. 45 seconds, answer. Again, it's an emotional pressure. It's a stress they're putting on you. It's very similar to being in a job interview situation where, right, they ask you a question that's really very simple. Why do you want to work here? That's a pretty easy question, really. It's really simple. The English is easy. But you get nervous because you need the job and you feel like you have to answer quickly and they're watching you. And so then all the stress and the pressure, that's what makes the situation difficult. Suddenly you find you can't even speak simple sentences anymore because you're so nervous, right? So I understand that. That's why it's a separate issue from the speaking. It's really an emotional issue, a stress issue. And the TOEFL speaking has a lot of that. In the time pressure, especially, you're being graded, you're being judged. That puts a lot of stress on you. And then the time can stress you out too, right? I mean, not only you need to speak well, but you have to do it fast. These are unnatural situations, I think. But I don't think they're really measuring fluency, but anyway, that's what they do, so you have to just practice. So when you're practicing for something like the TOEFL, use a timer, get used to doing it. It's unnatural, but sometimes you need those tests. You just have to perform for the test. I don't like it, but it's just sometimes necessary. Being invited to Tajikistan, thank you. Yes, I would. And Morocco. Now here's interesting. Karamat says, we can write easily but can't speak. Now that is interesting because a lot of people, it's the opposite. How can we solve this problem? I think that's actually great, a good problem in a way, because I think it shows that you know how to communicate in English, you know how to create good sentences and correct sentences, you know how to communicate your ideas well. So probably it's a speed issue, right? And emotional again. It means you have the ability, but maybe the hard part for you with speaking is you feel the pressure to do it quickly and to get the words. The other problem might be that you've been reading a lot, and so you're making the sounds is a little difficult. So my first suggestion, like always, would be lots and lots of listening. So you get used to the sounds, get used to the verbal language, right? The audio of the language instead of with your eyes, with your ears, using your ears. The second thing you could do is read aloud, write something. Since you feel very confident with your writing, write something out and then read it out loud in a strong voice. You can record yourself reading even, and then listen to it, see how it sounds. Little things like that should be enough for you. I mean, most people, usually I get the opposite question. I can speak well, I'm fluent, but my writing's terrible. What should I do? Because writing, the challenge of writing is it's very, very, you have to be perfect. This is the problem with writing. Okay, with speaking, you can be very casual. You can make lots of grammar mistakes. In fact, as native speakers, we do it all the time. It's no big deal. We'll say, I speak fast. It's not exactly correct, We'll use adjectives instead of adverbs, and we use short little sentences that are not complete sentences. We do all kinds of things when we speak that are perfectly acceptable, but that are not acceptable with writing. With writing, the rules are much more strict. So you should feel good that you're a good writer. That's great. You just have to get a little practice, get your mouth used to getting it out. Your brain and your mouth used to getting it out. I think you're going to be fine. Okay. People invite Nepal. That's another one of my favorite countries. Being invited to Nepal, I'd love to. I've been to Nepal 2 times, and I love Nepal. I love Nepal. Beautiful, beautiful. The mountains, incredible. Really, if you have a chance, visit Nepal. They should sponsor me. The Nepal tourist, whatever department. Sponsor me. I'll do ads for you. Oh, okay. So from our previous, I wrote that my mother tongue is English. I meant Arabic. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Great, but my answer is still basically the same for you. Okay, now here's a great thing. We're gonna get very specific. Ariba, Fatima. I want to speak English, but I can't. I make mistakes in helping verbs. Doesn't matter. Don't worry about these mistakes. Okay, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. Okay, especially something like helping verbs. Okay. Just communicate. Just communicate. You make some mistakes. No one's going to yell at you or anything. Okay? Nobody really cares. And especially in speaking, as I said before, with writing, yes, it's kind of strict. Okay? It's the rules are very tough with writing. If you make mistakes in writing, it can be bad in certain situations. It looks bad. But in speaking, not so much. In speaking, it's much more relaxed. I don't know about the British. The British have a reputation for being a little more, strict about these things. But North Americans, meaning Americans and Canadians, are very casual about these things. I think the Australians are also quite casual about it. Okay, we don't care. We don't care if you make a grammar mistake. We don't care. Okay, so relax. Of course, you want to improve. I understand this, but don't let it stop you. Don't let it stop you from communicating. It's okay. It's okay. Like I said, I make grammar mistakes sometimes. Mistakes. Every single native speaker does. Everyone. We use... I wouldn't even call it mistakes because it's just sort of like our natural casual language is to break many rules of grammar. We do it a lot. We do it all the time. All the time we break rules of grammar in speaking. It's like it's a very different kind of thing. Okay? It's much more loose and relaxed in speaking than in writing. They don't teach you this in school, but it's true. Would you like to visit Saudi Arabia? I will add it to my list, sure. AJ of Arabia. Could make a movie. Okay, well, this is a nice example. Andres Escobar. Hi, teacher. Glad to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you, too. Who would have good advice? Who has a good voice to imitate? Like an actor or someone with a clear accent, a voice we can find a lot on the internet. Do you have any candidates? Well, yeah. Really, any actor whose voice that you like. You really should choose someone that you like. You like the sound of their voice. And probably, too, you like their style, kind of their personality. So I don't recommend Sylvester Stallone. I like him. He's a good actor. He's a good writer. He's a good movie star. He's not famous for being a great speaker. Okay? He would say this, I'm sure. It's not a criticism of him. It's just the truth. But the point is, though, so Sylvester Stallone, though, he's a big kind of tough guy, strong guy. That's his reputation. That's his style. So if you're not like that, it will sound very weird if you're trying to pretend to be communicate like him, but that's not who you're like. Or Clint Eastwood. Here's another example, right? So you try to, hey, go ahead, make my day. That kind of, if you're not a tough guy, then it'll sound a little weird. If you are a tough guy and you kind of like that, then maybe you could imitate Clint Eastwood. But my point is, you need to really choose someone that fits you. You say, I like that person, I like their style, it kind of fits mine. You can use me if you like. If you're more motivational and enthusiastic, you could use me. You could use Tony Robbins. You could... there are lots of different, motivational speakers you could use. If you're a little more relaxed and, intellectual, maybe someone like Steve Jobs. So really your choice. Just be sure that, choose people who have standard accents, they're in lots of different movies. They're fairly clear to understand. Or if they're speakers, you know, they're in lots of videos. And, you know, that's about it, really. And you like them. That's the key thing. All right, I'm going to do one more, and then I think we're about done. Hello, I'm from Thailand. I know you've already been here. Yes, I will return to Thailand for sure, because it's one of my favorite places. I'm from Afghanistan, Brazil, Russia, Ukraine. Someone with a Texas flag. I'm from Finland. Okay, here we go. Maybe living in Texas, because the icon here is, that's Texas, and that's the flag of Texas, if you're watching on video. But John Rons is from Finland. And I was wondering if it's better to not try to sound too American. Does it sound better to natives' ear to just speak with your own natural accent? No, I'd say try it. You know, so many people are afraid to do this. They feel like, I don't know, maybe they'll sound weird. Maybe they're trying to make fun of the people. But I think try to sound American. Go for it. Why not? You know, maybe you'll never sound completely American. That's okay. But the more you try to sound American, the more clear your pronunciation will become to other Americans. That's the nice thing about it. So, I mean, this is exactly how you improve your pronunciation. So, no, I think most Americans would like it if you sounded more American. They would like it because they would understand you more easily. So, I say, go ahead and try. Try it. Why not? Don't worry. You just think of it as a game, not something so serious. Just imagine you're an actor and you're imitating them and you're pretending. You know, you can really exaggerate with it and have fun with it. Don't make it too serious. Try to sound as American as possible. You can even joke about it sometimes and really exaggerate if you want to have fun with it. So my advice would be the opposite. Go for it. Try to sound really, really, really American. Or if you prefer British, you know, try it. Try to sound British if that's what you want, or Australian. All right, that's all. I need to go and do some more work. So I hope you enjoyed this. Remember, speak clearly. Speak directly. Use simple language. Simple, clear language is the best communication. That's good news for you as you speak